Alright, so what up, everybody? And I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded a video in for God knows how long. Good lord. I've been busy as hell with stuff. My internet's been slow as hell, so I haven't really been able to upload much. But, anyways, how you guys liking Black Ops 3? I think it's quite a bit of fun to play. So, let me just get a little bit closer to the mic here. Let me know how that's going. Leave me a comment, message, whatever you want to do, all that stuff, all that technologically stuff. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about the pot legalization in Canada. Now I live in Canada, and it's not bad here, to be honest with you. It can get cold a little bit, but we're Canadian, so it doesn't really matter. We make the best beer, have the best bacon, and everything. But anyways, so this is what it says here. The world is going to be looking to Canada on pot legalization. So basically what that says is that the people around the world are going to be looking to our country for legalization on pot, which I think is not a bad thing. But however, the government is going to create a task force. I'm thinking to control that, like they do with alcohol and tobacco, cigarettes. Cigarettes are real bad for you, by the way, and guns, I'm guessing. So that's probably how that's going to end up going down. But anyways, like, who is this person again? This is Jane Philpott's already got her lead team of scientists or something like that. By the way, she's the health minister in this country. Her scientists have already started to like brief her on the topic or something like that. But then also there's Trudeau with his campaign on legalizing pot for recreational use and has mandated Philpott and public safety minister and the justice minister to create a federal, provincial, territorial process to accomplish that, which I just read. So that's not my own words. But anyways, so the people who are the conservations who are convinced her that the current system of prohibit prohibition and criminalization is not working. And she says if any of the viewers are teenage children, they can verify them that marijuana is far too accessible, and obviously there's issues around safety and concentrations that are available in certain products that are very dangerous, Philpott says, which I think is a load of shit. Often the products are not pure, which is actually like very true, so that's like that's very, very true. But she also says it's too early to speculate what kind of restrictions will be placed around the sale of pot, and I just hit the mic, sorry about that, such as legal age limit, but she said her government's committed to keeping it away from teenagers. It's extremely important to her as a young parent, I guess that's what I read, at the healthcare provider to keep pot out of the hands of kids and young people with brains that are developing at the moment is extremely accessible, she says. She's also saying that pot in corner stores is she doesn't want to have pot in corner stores, it says. But anyways, during the election, the conservatives were critical of the liberal plan, telling voters that it would lead to marijuana being sold in corner stores where teenagers could get their hands on it easily, which is also a load of shit. But then Trudeau said that he didn't think it would be sold in corner stores, which is very good, basically, which is very, very good. You don't need it in the corner store. I'd say sell it in the dispensary, or you can sell it out of your basement or something like that if you got a license to. So fuck it. But anyway, he says that there are going to be cautions about this, and they need to be cautious. But the most thoughtful thing, Canadians recognize that the current system isn't working, and they're looking to the government to make a wise decision, which also I think is a load of shit. People have their own brain and they can think about it. And the Canadian Medical Association has declined to comment. We acknowledge the complexity issue, blah, blah, blah. And basically they are trying to make a legal age for having pot, selling pot, smoking pot, and all this. But Trudeau is basically ready to move on legalizing it. And he says it's to make it more difficult for young people to access it, such as kids and teenagers. And he doesn't think that corner stores are rigorous enough on checking ID to make sure it's comfortable. And basically I just had to turn my controller back on. Give me a sec. But in Quebec, you can buy alcohol, smoke, cigarettes, lottery tickets. You can buy lottery tickets in Ontario at 18, actually. But in Quebec, you can be 18 and to buy cigarettes and alcohol and all that stuff, and I think you can be 17 to buy lottery tickets in Quebec. But Trudeau said that the radio station FM 93 that pot wouldn't necessarily have to be sold through a state-run monopoly, which whatever the fuck that means, figure that out. And Trudeau is also saying that it's making it harder for minors to get if it's legalized, because then they're going to be getting receipts and all this stuff and all this probably verification bullshit. That's all on there. But Trudeau's really not main focus is that he wants to have it legalized, but his main focus is not to get it into corner stores, I don't think. I think it's to get it legalized and out there so people know or something like that. I don't know. But Trudeau remarks the notice that Canadian Convenience Stores Association organization has issued a statement on Thursday that it also has not advocated for the legalization of pot or in this right to sell it, but was disappointed that Trudeau's questions as members' ability to sell age-restricted products. They say that they're partnered with the government, and that's the way they want to stay, is partnered with the government, which, I don't know, that may not be a bad thing in all words. But anyways, and he also insists that his plans to the sale and distribution of pot would involve lots of provinces, and he said if elected, the Liberal government could start taking action right away, which I have not noticed at all. There hasn't really been anything different around here, which yeah, I can basically see. But he's also overhauling the Conservative government, basically. But anyways, Trudeau's ordered major overhaul also, I forgot to tell you guys, in the criminal justice system that would put new focus on restorative justice and has priority plan to legalize pot. Give me a sec here. Anyway, and persistent overcrowding prisons is another thing I want to talk about. So, people have been getting arrested for pot charges, when really that's basically what is going into prisons, are all the potheads and the stoners and all the hippies who smoke pot and that kind of stuff, not the murderers or the rapists, because that's all overcrowded in prison. And sorry, I got a little far from the mic there. But he basically, if you guys didn't hear that, it's the rapists and murderers aren't really being thrown into prison. It's the potheads because there's so many of them. But I say let them go, let them be potheads, and put the rapists, the murderers, the pedophiles, and all them in prison. Because there's been reports of overcrowding in prisons, to just a high number of Aboriginals behind bar, and inadequate treatment of mental illness, which I don't know really what that means, but I'm a Native person, and I like being Native. I like having stuff, because that's the way I am. But lots of them are in prison because of drug and alcohol abuse. Now, I'm not saying heroin or coke as a Percocets or anything like, or LSD is a good thing. I'm saying that pot doesn't really harm anybody. It actually helps people more because it's more natural. But when people start throwing LSD and coke and Percocets and all that into it, then it gets a little out of hand. But Aboriginal people are smoking pot because that's really all they got to do on a reserve. And I used to live on a reserve, and I know what it's like. It's boring. Like, if you're not there playing video games or driving around on a four-wheeler, you're there smoking pot and getting drunk or doing something like that. And stuff like that. And there's also lots of reform people that are in-depth study that certainly without a lot of understanding of how the reforms would affect one another. The cumulative impact of this very rapid pace change has yet to be fully fulfilled. So it's very important to stand back and have a good look at what is going to be going on with this legalization of pot. And the Safety Minister, Ralph Goodale, and the Health Minister, Jane Philpott Wilson, will also create federal, provincial, territorial process for the legalization and regulation of pot. One of Goodale's first priorities is to repel the problematic elements of the controversial anti-terror law known as C-51 in bid to strike a better balance between security and civil liberties. He also be in charge of creating new office for community outreach in coordination for the counter-radicalization, which is good because terrorists are bad, so fuck terrorists. So, anyways, basically that they're trying to find a way to legalize to mandate pot and you guys keep it out of the hands of kids and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, like the video, comment on the video, subscribe for more, and as always, peace!